Alrighty then, it is September 11th here in Chico, California in 2025. It's a Thursday, and you are in for a treat. Very glad to have you here. You are tuned in for the first in a series in our long-promised university sequence, where we learn everything. And so today, without further ado, suppressing my instinct to tell stories and make jokes and just be hilarious, we're going to talk about the meaning of numbers. And this is probably considerable as a introductory presentation. It's not really a presentation. Most I have is a picture behind me. Otherwise, this is just a lecture. And I'm sorry, but I'm really low on technology right now. So we're going to talk about the meaning of numbers so that we have somewhere to start. That's really sometimes quite a challenging stage, is where do you begin in conveying truth? Which is, of course, the only purpose of science, is to gain truth so that you can apply the truth to answering your existential question, which is moral. Science will not help you with your life. But indirectly, it's an invaluable assistant because we use science to exploit our rational logical subsystem, which is blueprinted into us so that we latch to reality to understand the universe. Finally, to address our real question, which is, how do I save my soul into extended time beyond the current limit? And if you can't answer that, it's because you don't know where you're from, as I teach. That is my teaching. I do claim to be a teacher. I'm actually a guide. And I'm of age where I'm allowed to say that without worrying about what you think. You're here to learn how to think. That's what I teach, is how you can use your rational mind to undo your bind. Blow your mind and undo your bind. Well, you don't want to blow your mind. LSD is quite a risky undertaking. I did it 4 times. I really only count 3. It was degrading to do it more than once. LSD is highly recommendable, but there is a risk, and you certainly must be aware of the risk before you drop that fucking tab. It's much safer to use mushrooms. If you want a psychedelic experience, you'll get close enough. You don't want to push your limits too far, because you can snap, honey. All right, so we don't want drugs. We also don't want biology. We're not interested in the fucking neurons or the chemical interactions that cross the blood-brain barrier. We don't care about your theories of the mind. We're not interested in philosophy here because it's a waste of time. We need solutions. And so we're going to use science to assist us. And that is the only correct course for a full-grown man, which raises a big question about you or me at any time. I won't go into, I want to tell a story, but I know that I have to suppress that because I don't have much time on the clock for this video. So the meaning of numbers. We begin, just to begin somewhere, with the meaning of meaning. What does it mean to mean something? We as a race are always individuals, yet we retain similarity. So we're the same, but we're different. Already quite a deep motherfucking problem, isn't it? No. You simply make observations and then you continue. Hopefully, you'll be able to use your observations to solve your problem. What is our problem? Well, I've already told you we need the truth. But, of course, truth is quite huge, isn't it? Well, we're going to start with the meaning of meaning, so that you'll finally know what truth actually is and how it serves you. Because if you can't figure that out, you're not going on. You have to figure that out. So I will teach you how to do that. So we're similar. but we're individuals. And that's a direct contradiction. You can't be both. You're either an individual human or you're part of the human race. You can't be both. Think about that. Think about that real deeply, that you can't be part of the human race. What is that? Well, we do need to define that. Why? Because we need to know where we're from. We have to go back in time. We must consult history. If you don't do that, you can't consult death. And you must consult death because that's your destiny. You're going to die. And that's not a rude thing to say. So let's be sure that we're all on the same page. You're a walking corpse. You're a ghoul. You have no real existence. So you're going to have to figure out how it is you exist at all. Because you're not going to exist very soon. And if you don't answer that, you're not a scientist, you're not a man, you're not even human. You're probably evil. Because you can't face reality. You have to. I'm here to train you to do just that. And I'm the only man available to do that. I've never met another. So let's get into the meaning of numbers, beginning with the meaning of meaning. So we're all on the same fucking page. Okay? What makes us either independent, which means whole? You're a whole person. You're not part of anything. You're a whole individual entity. Alone! That's the truth. There's another part to that, though. That's called conjugality. The most amazing discovery in the history of human intelligence. I made that discovery. It unites mathematics and geometry and morality. And you need morality first. So if you haven't got morality, you're out. And you can turn this off and go back to your puppy and lick its tongue. And play your video games. And take whatever drugs you need to survive this maddening world. I'm going to get you out of it, whether you like it or not. You can always turn this off. God, that would be just perfect. Get lost. But you're here. So you do exist. Because you're listening to me right now. That's part of reality now. Let's go on. So we're either independent, holistic. That doesn't mean combined with anything. That means you're one whole individual thing. You're an object. But you certainly have a strange characteristic. That's what we're talking about. How do you get through that? I'll show you, so that you'll actually know and you won't have some theory or belief. You'll see directly what reality is so you can fix it. Because if you don't do something to fix it, you're going to die to oblivion or worse. Right? What do you think you're here for? It's to evolve. That's the true meaning of evolution, and that's quite a deep secret. I hope you realize I'm wearing the robe. So yeah, I get a little megalomaniac. It's predictable. In a person in my station might become megalomaniac. I have no such characteristic. I am not megalomaniac. And you're going to get used to my attitude because this is my attitude. You need it. I'm helping you. You're not helping me, and you never could. But I can help you. That's my job. You might ask, where do I get that strange idea from? From the great beyond. So let's talk. What makes us either independent or derivative, which is what you're taught you are? You're part of humanity, are you? Well, then you stepped on the moon then, didn't you? You're going to the stars. You're splicing genes. You're about to bomb the shit out of half the earth. That's you. Because you're lost, confused, and ridiculous. Because you're part of humanity. Oh, lucky thee. No, you're not. And I'll show you that you're not. And you actually have to make the decision. You can stay caught in the net and you'll be hauled aboard and beaten and eaten. You'll be used by a higher power that you're going to wish you never even heard of. That's who you are when you're a part of humanity. You're not even part of your parents, okay? They're gone, aren't they? They're not with you right now, or if they are, they're probably horrified. Turn that shit off. So this poses a sort of framework for all conjugal paradoxicality, which I covered in a very recent video. The conjugation of paradoxicality is the solution to all philosophy. I discovered that. So I'm the greatest philosopher of all time. There's another hat I can wear. They're just piling up, baby. Well, that's what happens to a megalomaniac. He also ends up on the island of Elba. That would be Napoleon, by the way. A very popular image of someone who's totally deranged. No, he wasn't. He was simply trapped in the world, you idiot. Just like you. You want to get out? Well, you can. That's what a wise man teaches. Who do you think I am? Just another one of your little hobbies. You're in the wrong place, kiddo. You're about to be shocked down to your core. Or you're not going anywhere because you won't face reality. I'll force you to. That's called science, by the way. You have to be good at it. I am. No one else is that I've ever met. Absolutely deluded. I'm not. So I'm here to help you. All right. I have to do this. I'm quite emotionally charged at this phase, and I'm well aware of it because I've been through this before. You can't even imagine. But we're going to get into it. You'll go through it too, by the way. When we refer to ourselves as we, as a collectivity, that's unconscious. We instinctively know about ourselves as we, but the collectivity eludes characterization, right? It's hard to talk about humanity because there's so many parts. There's so many moving parts and relations. You're talking about 150 separate nations and on the order of 8,000 languages. We've been around for about 10,000 years with any form of communication that's in any way permanent, and so we need to check that to see what our ancestors actually knew. Well, you know that you don't want to do that because you're a part of a collectivity that doesn't want to do that. But you're not part of a collectivity here. You're an individual human being with a certain amount of dignity, I pray. So you do want to save your own soul if that's possible. Well, science can assist you. That's why I'm here, is to give you the sequence of solution so you can do it yourself. You'll have to start by going back to the beginning of human history. And I am a teacher of Islam, so you're really doubly blessed to have me. And start counting your blessings, because they're the last ones you're ever going to see if you don't listen. All right? That's the beginning of my course. Take it or leave it. We instinctively know about ourselves as we, but we're hard pressed to elaborate on that. What do you do then? Well, it's shit, right? It's horrific. This is hell in a certain sense. Well, you need to get out of hell. If you're in a prison, you need to escape. If you're being held down, you need to somehow find your way up. You got to escape out of the noose, out of the trap. Can you? You haven't yet, have you? You're listening to me. Well, someone upstairs likes you. Let's prove that. So you get the proof from the pudding. A lot of science and philosophy and religion is hot air. And I'm not exempt from that because I'm trying to communicate with you. Boy, oh boy, what fun that must be for me. I don't mind. But I am stentorian. I'm quite a bit like a drill sergeant these days because I've been ignored too long. And that's part of the megalomaniac persecution complex. A man has to become aware of that so he can control it. But it's very powerful. It's very hard to control. I used to try to drink myself to death for years. A six-pack a night will slowly kill you. And I had already given up on life. So I've been through every form of hell that you can imagine, and you're not special to me. But you're special to someone else. Someone who loves you. And if you don't like my religious overtones, you can go fuck yourself. So there's your love. All right. We do instinctively know about ourselves as we. And it's pretty hard to face. Pretty hard to face. One glance at the newspapers or any article on YouTube and you're fucked. You know, you're fucking in hell. You got to get out. Well, that's why you need science. That's the only reason you need science. It's not to build bombs. It's not to make lasers. It's not to make the next year's model car or jet or rocket or bomb. That's not science. That's the collectivity doing something under the control of a very powerful consciousness, which is obviously evil. Well, you don't want that, do you? Well, you're soaking in it, honey. That's part of a commercial. Oh, I gotta tell a story. Perhaps this one viewpoint or perspective, that is, that we're a collectivity, is a little spare on depth. It's really hard to probe that. Okay, well, we're a race of humans. Oh boy. Well, you can count us up. There are about 8 billion alive and about 16 billion total. Of course, that's been argued to the death. But everything's been argued, so we can ignore the footnotes for now. I'm telling you the way things actually are, and no one else will. So, let's go on. Sorry, I have to mind the time. We're getting close to the limit, I'm sorry, but technology requires money, and I don't have any. So pity me. I'll never ask you for a dime. You'll never send me money, and if you do, I won't open it. You know, I'm probably lying. Because everyone wants and needs money. More money. Well, you're part of the collectivity and you're fucked. And you know it. So listen up. The collectivity eludes any characterization and it's spare on depth. I mean, how do you face humanity? You can't. You'll go insane. You'll kill you. You'll be suicidal. So nobody, it's like death. You don't think about it. Well, you have to. And so we will. But in context, so it's rational. No theories, no emotion, just face the goddamned facts, for Christ's sake. I'm a real good pastor from the past, but I was defrocked and excommunicated and shunned. If it had been the old days, I would have been stoned to death. But these days, when you get stoned, you don't die. You use cannabis to get stoned. All right. So, perhaps this one viewpoint or perspective is spare on depth, but there is an obverse aspect to the same relation. That's called conjugality, is when you reverse the mirror. Or really, you turn the mirror inside out and look through it the right way, so that the mirror is part of you, and the mirror is now serving you rather than crushing you with your image of yourself, which is hideous. You know that you're ridiculously sinful and evil, correct? Yeah, but that's only one part of the conjugality. You're also sublime and divine. You may have felt that from time to time. You don't want to dwell on that because that's, again, an extreme. No, we're conjugal. So there's a balance, just as the I Ching says and teaches. The Chinese contributed to humanity. They contributed the goddamn Book of Changes, for Christ's sake. You're not taught that in the West. I got lucky. Well, I'm blessed by heaven. But I'm here to serve. If you're blessed and you don't share, what the hell kind of a man are you? So yeah, I take an attitude, but you know I'm compassionate and altruistic. I'm like the Dalai Lama, for Christ's sake. You know, the Buddha. Yeshua, well, he's my master. There's a hierarchy. You're going to learn that. Or you will learn it. I'll make sure of that. There's a hierarchy of beings. All right? Or you wouldn't be here, would you? You think about that. So, the individuality of personal consciousness is overwhelmingly confirmed by minutely small details. You can tell that you're conscious. And it's overwhelming. I was just exposed to an article recently on the nature of consciousness, and the thesis was, which I agree with absolutely, is the development of consciousness is impossibly difficult. It shouldn't happen at all. Consciousness is ridiculously complex. It's also complicated, which is different from complex. It's a new dimension of confusion. It's confusing. So consciousness is an enormous phenomenon. It cannot be explained. Consciousness has never been explained. Why do you think you're interested in the topic, besides brainwashing? You're being led in the wrong directions. I'll show you what consciousness is. It's really quite simple once you know conjugal geometry. Right. So, and we're getting very close to the cutoff here, which you might be grateful for at this point. But in the next video, I'll be a lot calmer. I won't have so many emotional interjections. But this is to warm myself up, because I am human. I don't know if you've noticed. I know I talk like I'm not. Oh, count on that. Whatever you are, I am too. That should elicit compassion and altruism. You do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I don't know how it could be simpler. That's morality. That's why you don't lie, cheat, steal, thieve, fornicate. Just pressure everything around you because you need. Well, you're self-centered, you're a narcissist, you're a demon, you're a devil. All you think about is yourself. You can't just think about yourself. You'd lose your mind if all you thought about was yourself. So you know there are other humans. Well, they're just like you. That's the basis of reality. That's morality. You have to take care of your brother. You are your brother's keeper. If he's suffering, fix it. Try it. Try feeding the hobos. And every time I use that word, I'm corrected by nincompoops. Oh, no, because they're so brilliant. Oh, Professor, you must not know. Hobo is already a used word for men in the 30s who rode the rail. Those are hobos. I've heard this 24 times if I've heard it a single time. I'm polite. I don't just, yap like a goddamn Pekingese. Yeah, you stupid. How dare you talk back to me? I said hobo. What do you think I don't know what a hobo is? Because I don't like to say homeless person. Because it's depressing. Well, you're not going to be St. Francis of Assisi, and you're not going to be Yeshua going around not taking a dime. You're gonna work like a goddamn dog, and I could use a much harsher word. But you would like a way out. Do you want to just labor as a slave forever? That's all you're ever going to do. You might have to. Most people have to. They have no choice. You're listening to me, though. Perhaps you think you have a choice. Well, that's why I'm here. You do. Okay. And now we're very close to the end, about 1 minute away. So let me finish the paragraph that I'm reading from. Why are we all different? Why are we all the same? Try answering both at once. You can't. So you have to use logic. Well, that's what I do. Isn't that an amazing coincidence? That's synchronicity. You need logic. You don't know what it is. I've mastered logic and I can teach it to you. That's what I'm going to do, and that's the end. So in the next video, I won't be spouting. I won't be posturing. I won't be trying to get to your emotional side so that you continue to listen. You're a rare person if you can put up with me. Nobody yet has been able to put up with me. I'm grinding. I'm relentless. If the subject comes up, and I know about it, well, you're going to hear about it. You're not going to be talking anymore. I will be teaching you. People don't like that normally. People don't want to be taught because 99 out of 100 times, just to give it a random high figure of percentage, the person is lying to you. They're deceived and they're trying to deceive you and you know it. They might not even know it, but you can see it. They're trying to take you to the cleaners, emotionally. Oh, let's talk about this, that, or the other. You won't get anywhere with most people. They don't want to learn. They only want to vent. And that's the end. That's 25 minutes. Keep looking up. We'll be right back with the meaning of meaning, which will be brief, so we can talk about the meaning of numbers. And I'm the master of that topic now. So you're tuned into the right station. And I'm sorry for my posturing megalomania. It's good for you because I know what I'm doing. Do you? All right, stay tuned. Thank you.